folks, and welcome to your outlet for outdoors and Western lifestyle news, The Bend Show. I am your host, Rebecca Wanner, a.k.a. Beck. As always, we love hearing from all of you. Your comments, your stories, your ideas. Get a hold of us anytime. Call or text 305-900-2363. Again, that's 305-900-2363, or you can always email bendradioshow@gmail.com. Ride along shotgun, as always, my producer and co-host, Jeff Tigger Erhardt, is in the house. And I wanted to bring this up. We have to give a shout out to a good friend of ours, Jen. She taught us how to play pickleball.
Oh, I was wondering where you were going with that.
Yes, we've had many listeners over the last year and a half, 2 years since pickleball has become the rage, asking me, sending me messages saying, do you and Tigger play pickleball? Have you gotten into this? And we had not. And Jen, she's listening. I know she listens every week. She was a sweetheart and said, let me find another person that doesn't know how to play, and I'll show all of three of you, because it takes 4 people, 2 pairs, to play pickleball.
And we were all extremely competitive. It started out like, ha, 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 and then got legit.
It did.
We're all 4 very, very, very competitive.
And I got to say, we're hooked. I think it's safe to say we're hooked.
The scoring is a little...
That's the toughest part.
That's complicated. I get
scoring.
confused on that. And you and I are very avid racquetball players.
Mm-hmm.
So we were kind of thinking it was like racquetball rules. It was not. And so the scoring was really
hard to
confusing.
catch on to.
I didn't catch on to it at all.
I couldn't get over how fun it was, and you still got to work out. But then here's the thing was so neat is over the weekend, we ran out to some other friends of ours that ranch. They raise Angus cattle, and Tigger was going to help them with their border collie because he trains border collies. And here that came up as, no, they go into town to play pickleball every week too. They get off the ranch and go play pickleball.
Oh, I didn't know that. When I was talking
to Austin
about his pup,
yes,
you were talking to Dee, and she said they play pickleball.
And then she told me that Austin has a $200 pickleball racket now because he loves it that much.
Holy smokes!
We're gonna only play with our $8 one.
We're just gonna get the free ones that we get when you go and you pay the rental fee for the court.
But all I'm telling you right now is, if you've been making fun of it, laughing about it, we were right there with you, but now we've played it, and you got to try it.
A lot of fun, and there probably is pickleball courts very close to where you are.
Absolutely.
Like with us, within an hour is close.
Well, and that's the other thing is now that we've played it, I've been visiting with some other folks, finding out that when they go on their vacations, their pickleball racket goes with them. They're actually throwing it in the suitcase. Yes, because a lot of these different resorts, different areas you might travel to, they actually set up leagues for people that are traveling through where you can sign up and say, hey, I want to play pickleball. I want to be in a tournament.
Pickleball is where it's at.
It is, and it's for all ages. That's my plug for pickleball.
Perfect.
What else? What do you got there, Tigger?
I wanted to bring this up. Last week, we talked more about gator hunting in Florida, and we received a text message from a South Dakota listener. I'm assuming because it's 605 area code. That doesn't mean anything. It's just a 605 area code. But I texted you back, and you didn't leave me your name. So don't be surprised if we just call and say, hey, it's Tigger and Beck. Because he said, quote, I have some info about gator hunting in Florida, at least how we went.
I can't wait to hear about this.
So, yeah, and we need, here it is already mid-March, and we need
we need to get on that. We
need to figure out if that's what we're going to do.
Dates on the calendar, because yes, as you've heard throughout the last several weeks, this is on Tigger's, bucket list is to go gator hunting. So I want to make this happen in 2025. That's my goal.
Well, we got to talk with Jake, though, who does all of our taxidermy work.
Well, but honey,
how much that's going to cost to get that gator stuffed?
We just might have to throw it in the freezer for a while, really wrapped well. And now we're going to have to find a bigger freezer if we bring home what I think you might bring home.
Hopefully.
All right, I do have some travel news for you. Right out the gate, in case you haven't heard about this, Southwest Airlines is ending its free checked luggage policy. And I gotta say, that is one of the biggest reasons I love Southwest Airlines. Starting May 28th, most passengers will have to pay to check their bags. However, if you're a Rapid Rewards A-List preferred member or Business Select passengers, you'll still get 2 free checked bags. The A-List members are going to get 1 free, and Rapid Rapid Rewards credit card holders will receive one free checked bag as well. The cost for checked bags has not been announced. However, Southwest is also introducing a basic fare for its lowest priced tickets ahead of offering assigned seating and extra leg room in 2026. These changes are aimed at attracting customers who prioritize low fares and boosting the airline's profitability, of course. So just a heads up, it sounds like they're changing their business model, which has always kind of stood out. Southwest Airlines has always been kind of known for very comfy seats, getting the checked bags, the extra snacks. We'll be paying attention to see how much is going to change within this airline, if they're going to get rid of all those little extra luxuries we like that we don't get from the others.
Now, I would pay for a checked bag if I could have a little extra leg room.
Okay.
That's just me. I would pay for that because of where we're at. We're probably going to be in the air for 2 to 3 hours to our next destination.
I can agree with that.
So I would be okay if little extra leg room, I would pay for the check.
But I am going to still go and say, Southwest Airlines, don't change anything.
Yeah,
I liked you the way you were, okay?
Dumb.
All right, now here is a random story, if there ever could be one, but it crossed my feed. I got a chuckle. Kind of had to shake my head and had to share this. All right, here we go. We head to Colombia, the country Colombia, where hundreds of cocaine hippos, you heard me right, are causing a major ecological headache. These hippos are descendants of Pablo Escobar's original pet herd and have become known as the cocaine hippos. They're becoming a growing invasive species, just like the Burmese pythons here in Florida. With no natural predators and access to the Rio Magdalena, their population has exploded to about 200, and it's disrupting the ecosystems and threatening native animals like the endangered Magdalena turtle.
The cocaine hippo is endangering the Magdalena turtle.
Yes, they've brought in...
That is as random can be.
They've brought in wildlife biologist specialists who are working with the Colombian officials to tackle this problem. The government's plan involves capturing and sterilizing hippos, aiming for 40 sterilizations a year. Though it's a tricky task, the team says they've made some progress recently sterilizing several hippos, but the herd is continuing to grow, and this has become a massive project that's far from finished down there in Colombia. And they said it's unbelievable how it's becoming an invasion, and it's a very serious issue to the country.
There's so many things that I would like to say right now, but because we're on public radio and the wee ones are probably listening when you're talking about sterilizing hippos, I'm just going to leave it be back and let you
know,
go
because
to
right
break
now
it.
there are so many of us that either are in agriculture, we raise livestock, or we are hunters, and we're sitting here going, really? Colombia, you're having that big of a problem with only 200 hippos?
When you said cocaine hippos, I didn't know what it was going to be. Now I understand.
All right, we're going to
I'm not touching it.
We're going to take a short break, crew. Stay where you are. You're listening to The Ben Show. This is Beck. First, I appreciate all of you for listening and making The Bend part of your week. Many of you have asked, how do I catch past episodes? The answer is super easy. Head to thebendshow.com and click on the shows tab. There you can listen to every episode all the way back to episode 1. Podcasters, head to your favorite podcasting app and search The Bend. You'll find us. Be sure to follow and subscribe and never miss another episode again.
The hunt, the stories, the memories. This is Jake Fenrick with JB's Wildlife Designs. Let me capture and preserve that hunt, that story, that memory with a trophy mount to last you a lifetime. Look us up on Facebook at JB's Wildlife Designs to see samples of our taxidermy, and reach out at any time with any and all questions you may have. This is Jake Fenrick with JB's Wildlife Designs. Taxidermy is my passion. Let me preserve yours.
You asked for it, you got it. Watch the Cowboy Channel anytime, anywhere with the Cowboy Channel Plus. Live stream the Cowboy Channel or watch your favorite PRCA rodeos on demand. Classic PRCA rodeos added weekly. Get the Cowboy Channel Plus for only $9.99 a month or save 25% by signing up for a full year. Visit cowboychannelplus.com to sign up and start streaming today.
Welcome back to your outlet for outdoors and Western lifestyle, The Bend Show. I am your host, Rebecca Wanner, a.k.a. Beck, and riding along shotgun is Jeff Tigger Erhardt, my co-host. Now, listen to this. We're going to be talking a little bit here about food, and I'm wondering, yay or nay, would you eat this or consume this? Apparently, the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service is promoting the hunting and consumption of swamp rats as a way to control their growing population in wetlands across 18 states.
Are you talking human, like us eating
Yes.
swamp rats?
Yes.
All right, keep going. I'm going to go to the little googly machine
Swamp
and look
rats,
this up.
they're a large semi-aquatic rodents. They're native to South America, were introduced to the U.S. for fur trade, but they've now become invasive, causing significant damage to the ecosystems. Swamp rats eat large amounts of wetland plants, weakening soil and accelerating erosion. U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service first suggested eating swamp rats. I keep having to stutter saying this. Like, am I really talking about swamp rats? Yes, I am. They initially suggested consuming these during the National Invasive Species Awareness Week back in February. I didn't know we had a week like that. A post on their Facebook page encouraged people to eat meat and praised their edibility as in eat the swamp rats, calling them invasive and delicious. They described swamp rat meat as mild in flavor, similar to rabbit, and praised its lean texture.
Have you had rabbit? Have you tried rabbit?
No.
I have.
And?
I'm out.
On rabbit?
Yeah.
I'm surprised they didn't say it tastes like chicken.
I'm out.
Well, that's not all. They're also recommending pairing swamp rats with a Zinfandel wine or a light beer, making it sound more like a gourmet experience, if you ask me. Well, some people you may be hesitant, like I have to try it. I guess some folks have been jumping online. I was reading the different comments on the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service's Facebook page, and one person compared it to it being like pork loin.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Now, did you know this about them? Swamp rats do breed rapidly, producing up to 3 litters a year with as many as 13 babies per litter.
Like a rabbit.
So there you go. That's why they're having a hard time controlling the numbers. The U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service also suggests eating other invasive species like the northern snakehead fish, green iguanas, I know that's a big problem down in Florida, and feral hogs to reduce environmental damage. In addition to hunting, the agency stresses the need for other conservation efforts to manage invasive species effectively. Despite the playful promotion, some of you still may be skeptical, thinking there's no way that beaver rat tastes delicious. However, experts and chefs, especially from Louisiana, they've turned swamp rats into delicious delicacies like gumbo. So,
but if you know how to prepare it, I mean, let's just be honest about this. I mean, if you know how to prepare it, it probably isn't bad. Just like when I had rabbit, none of us knew what we were doing. We just shot a rabbit and we tried to eat it. And it was disgusting. Mm-hmm. Squirrel is the same way.
I will agree. It probably is how you go and prepare it. Because, like growing up, for example, how many of us caught frogs, right? I mean, come on. What little boy, girl, we catch frogs. We play in the mud.
Rocky Mountain oysters, calf fries. How many people are going to actually eat those? They're delicious.
I will agree. They're a delicacy.
They are yummy.
And I was going to say, finishing my story, since you interjected.
Sorry.
Thanks, Tigger. Was that growing up, caught tons of frogs. And I remember one year my brother went and made the frog legs on the little grill, except he didn't know what he was doing and he just smothered them in barbecue sauce. And
were they good?
They were bad. It was bad. But now I've been down to Florida and all along the Gulf there and have had frog legs, multiple times, and they're always delicious.
Very good. I've had frog legs too, and they're very, very, very good.
So I agree with you. It's how you prepare it, and maybe just don't ask what it is.
Now, I did go to my little Googling machine, and yeah, you just type in swamp rats, and it comes up right away that invasive, you said native of South America, but now invasive in North America. Yeah, I get it. Mm-hmm. They're kind of a weird looking, they kind of look like a muskrat. They kind of look like a beaver. A cross between the two is what they kind of look like. Kind of an ugly little critter.
I don't foresee myself ordering them on a menu anytime soon, but if you want to do your part, feel free to get rid of the swamp rats.
So hold on now. Let me dance with this topic just a little bit now. Me and my buddies in high school, when we would go out hunting, we had a rule that if we would harvest whatever it was,
You had to eat it.
we had to eat it, which is why I've had everything from squirrel to rabbit. The squirrel made me very sick, by the way. So I do have a question for you, and I think I've asked you this before because I lived in Oklahoma where the snake hunts were. Would you try rattlesnake?
No,
Why?
I hate snakes.
We all know that you are not a lover of anything reptilian whatsoever.
Hey,
But
I've
you
had
wouldn't-
lizards as a pet before. I just wouldn't touch
I'm
them.
not caring about if you had a lizard. You had a lizard as a pet?
I had 3 geckos. They traveled with me in college.
What?
Yeah,
I didn't
except
know
I couldn't touch them,
this.
so I'd have to like get my brothers or
Somebody else did
or
it?
like one of my roommates, like their boyfriend would come over and he'd have to get them out so I
Okay.
could clean the cage.
So, since you have an affection for geckos, would you ever consume their cousin, the iguana?
I would eat iguana. I
You
would
would
not
try that,
yeah,
but you
absolutely.
would not try rattlesnake, even though if it was...
Okay, so here's the thing. I could not eat any snake of any shape or form because I'd have nightmares. I am somebody that if I see a snake on the TV, just in a commercial, like
Back
the
we
movie
aren't talking
Anaconda
about if
used
you're
to be.
looking at a snake
Yeah.
on TV. I'm
I
just talking
have
about if you would
nightmares.
eat a snake.
So
It's-
what am I going to do if I eat snake
Beck,
and I
it's-
knowingly know it's a snake?
Okay,
I'm going to dream about them in
hold
nightmares.
on now, babe. It's when they serve snake, it's not like it's this 4-foot-long hose. They're cut into small portion size.
Are they going to roll it in rice so it looks like sushi?
No, they bread it. They bread it. It's deep fried.
Snake tempura?
Maybe. So you wouldn't try it. You wouldn't just try. I know you would because you're Beck. I know you would. That you'd be like, okay, let me try a little bit. I guarantee, no matter how good it was, you'd go, and you wouldn't like it.
Here's
But
going
I
to be
think
my
you would
thing.
at least try it.
If it's breaded, I tend to like
Yeah,
anything
it's
that's
breaded
been
and
deep fried.
deep fried.
If you ever decide to present snake to me on a platter or plate, just do not tell me that is what it is. I don't care. You are allowed to lie. That's
You know
the
what
one
it-
time you're
it
allowed to
looks
lie.
like? You know what it looks like? Fish fillets. It looks like a fillet. That's what it looks like, dear. It's pieces that are about maybe 2-3 inches long. That's it.
Is it rubbery?
It's not very good. I mean, I've
We're
tried
not helping
it.
getting rid of the invasive
No, I've
species,
tried
are
it.
we?
I've tried it. I had to try it, but it was not very good because of so many bones is in it. It was like you were eating a fish that hasn't been filleted properly. So, I mean, it was okay, but I'm glad I tried it once. It's nothing I need to go back and have again. But at least I can say I tried rattlesnake.
All right, I'm going to throw this out to the listeners. Again, call or text. That number is 305-900-2363, or you can always email bendradioshow@gmail.com. Let us know, what is the most unusual thing you have ever eaten, and you did not have to have prepared it yourself. But if you did, let us know if it's now a dish that you'd ever make again, or if it's one of those you tossed it out the back door and let the dog
Do you like it or not?
All right, we're going to take a short break, crew. You're listening to The Ben Show.
Is there that particular pair of boots or that shirt or pair of jeans that you just can't find anywhere else? Check out Medora Boot and Western Wear. Medora Boot and Western Wear is the go-to for boots, jeans, especially jackets, and even those hard-to-find accessories that make perfect gifts. Check out MedoraBoot.com, or better yet, give Kim a call at 701-623-1005 and tell Kim that Tigger and Beck sent you. For the latest in Western and outdoor practical and fashionable wear, there is only one, Medora Boot and Western Wear.
Hey guys and gals, this is John Harmon with Ultimate Outdoor Adventures TV. Ultimate Outdoor Adventures TV travels the back roads to the backwaters in pursuit of the ultimate adventure in hunting and fishing. Join Team UOA every week for exciting action in the crosshairs of the outdoors. Catch Ultimate Outdoor Adventures TV on YouTube, Amazon Prime, and make sure to follow Team UOA on Facebook and Instagram to share in the ultimate outdoor adventure.
You've waited, dreamt of a hunting adventure, and now have harvested that trophy of a lifetime. Keep the memory alive with a custom designed mount preserved as a work of art. Check out our approved taxidermist depending on your location. The award-winning Schneider Taxidermy is located in Helena, Montana. When hunting the Dakotas, JB's Wildlife Designs in Mandan, North Dakota, then Shadwin Creek Taxidermy in Nebraska, and for the Central USA, Little Rack Taxidermy in Macomb, Illinois. Reach out to The Ben Show and let us help you find the right taxidermist. Welcome back to your outlet for outdoors and Western lifestyle, The Ben Show. I am your host, Rebecca Wanner, a.k.a. Beck, riding like shotgun. My co-host, Jeff Tigger Erhardt. Before we went to break, we were talking about unusual animals, and then it also came up the topic of how you prepare it a lot of times is whether it's going to be edible or not. I know we were talking swamp rats, we were talking snakes. I'm never going to touch those no matter what. But in the spirit of it being St. Patty's.
Oh, it's St. Patty's weekend this weekend.
Yes,
isn't
a
it?
lot of folks are celebrating St. Patrick's this weekend. It's on Monday this year. But and when I think about the month of March, I feel like you can celebrate St. Patrick's the entire month long. Well, I'm going to tell you, when it comes to my personal take on cooking is no matter what the cut of meat is, if it's, say, a cheaper, maybe less expensive, you know what I'm talking about, those kinds of cuts, I always say use a marinade, use a brine.
And it's awesome. I got to back on this, that when you do take those less
desirable,
yeah, they're not as expensive cuts, not as delectable maybe, that when you soak them in your marinade or the brine or whatever you do, it's really good.
Yes. So what I'm throwing at you is, like I've talked before about turkey, wild turkey. A lot of times it's hard to cook. Let's be honest, wild turkey is really good, but it's often best in a brine and then probably, even deep fried. But a lot of times you want to use a brine. Well, how about this for a change up for St. Patty's, doing an Irish corned venison? Now think about that. You still got those roasts sitting in your freezer, I know, from hunting season. Change it up. I mean, we're always going to be big supporters of eat the beef, but we
that
like
sounds
our venison
difficult
too.
to make. Is it difficult to make? It sounds like this is quite something you got to make. Because I know you made it last year, right around this time, around St. Patty's Day, and it was incredible.
Yes. So I'm going to share with you my Irish corned venison brine recipe. You're going to find it on our website. The website is thebendshow.com, and look under this show's notes and you'll find it there. And this brine, that's why you might not be able to make it in time for St. Patty's Day, but you can have it all month long because the roast does need to sit in the brine for several days to really break down and take on that other flavor. But I think you'll be impressed. It's a new change up, and why not? You've got those venison roasts sitting in your freezer anyway. Pull them out. It's time to eat them, right?
Well, I know a lot of people are wondering what they're going to do with them. Same way with beef is the same way. You get a shoulder or something like that. What are we going to do? We're going to make a stew, and you don't want it to go to waste, of course.
And I'm going to tell you, when it comes to those meats, again, consider putting them in a brine or a marinade. If it was a beef roast, I'd put that in a marinade for several days. If it's a venison roast, I would put it in this brine that I'm going to share. And then always, I cook them all in my Instant Pot. And believe me, they are not a sponsor. I just love my Instant Pot. It has changed my life and made a lot of these meats more delectable. That's probably the best way of putting it.
You know what, babe?
What?
You're a really good cook.
What do you want?
Nothing. No, I'm just saying. I'm trying to give you a compliment. You're a really good cook.
Okay, but there's one thing I'm not good at, and I'm surprised you haven't brought this up because we are talking about St. Patty's, Irish. I'm, a quarter Irish.
Oh, you're talking about you do not have the Irish goodbye gene. If we're talking St. Patty's Day, I know exactly what you're talking about. You do not have the Irish goodbye down at all. So, okay, the Irish goodbye, it's basically when it's time to go, the slang is that person or persons just get up and leave, right? Kind of sneak out.
They sneak out the back door. They don't tell the host they're leaving. They don't say goodbye to anybody. They just literally leave quietly and nobody even knows they left.
You lack this 100% because I don't care where we're at. It could be shopping. It could be church. It could be a bull say. Anything that involves human beings. People. It doesn't matter. You are terrible about it's time to go, Beck. We're standing at the door. Your jacket is on.
There's one person.
And you do not get going.
I know there's one person that appreciates that about me, and that would be your father.
That's because he is zero Irish, and you and him will have conversations forever.
Just curious. We always leave, we open our relationship up there to the world, open it up to the world. So do you have somebody in your household that can't say goodbye and talks forever and ever?
And opens up additional conversations when everything's loaded and ready to go.
Right now, my mom's listening and she's shaking her head going, she got that from her father. It's not my fault.
It's the Irish goodbye and you don't have it. And it's even time to wrap up the show, Beck. I mean, literally, it's getting that time I'm watching this, and you're still not saying fare thee well.
Fine.
You've done this how many hundreds of times?
Fine.
Just say goodbye.
I'm going to call this show wrapped this week, folks. Thanks again for riding along, and remember to keep sending us in your questions, or if you know of something spot-worthy for us to share, as well as your area's field reports. That number again, call or text anytime, 305-900-2363. Again, 305-900-2363. Or you can email bendradioshow@gmail.com. And if you missed part of this show or want to hear past episodes, you can find them all on the website, thebendshow.com. Finally, a big thanks to all of you listeners out there that came along. And whether you're coming or going today, stay with us as we ranch it up. And remember to keep up with me back all week long by following The Bend on Facebook and on Instagram @The Bend Show. This is Rebecca Wanner. Catch Beck if you can next week on The Bend.